Hey guys, Kyle Wolfe out here at Jelly Farm in Wellston, Ohio. We're here for a round of the Full Gas Sprint Enduro Series. We got Alta demos out here, so I finally found a chance to ride these things. We have the EX right here. We got the new MXR over here. The MXR has the new battery pack compared to the original MX, so they're putting out about 10 more horsepower to the countershaft sprocket. The EX is still on the original battery, but here coming out soon, the guys have told me that the new EXRs, they're in production. I think a few of them are actually shipping out, but the guys have been demoing out here, so they've already got some mud on them. I've taken them out a couple of times. I'm going to take them out a few more here just to get a little bit better feel to them. First impression, they're just unbelievable bikes. I've taken this one out a couple of times, and you know, it's weird from all the other guys that have put out videos. It's real weird to not have to reach for the clutch, move your foot up for the shifter, but just being able to hear everything. Like, I keep thinking that I'm ripping the rear tire apart just because I can actually hear it hitting everything. But as far as performance goes, this thing is really nice. The suspension, the WP suspension on this thing is incredible. They had to beef it up a little bit because of the weight. They've actually got this one down to 259 from the original 270-ish area. 274 I think was the original weight. They've got the MXR down to 259, but they've stiffened up the suspension because of the extra weight compared to a normal combustion bike. And me being a heavier guy, it's actually working out really well. It's not bottoming out in the stroke. It's staying planted really well. And since there's no forward motion, there's nothing turning inside, it's not wanting to carry you past where you want to go. You can turn this thing on a dime. It's actually really nice, and the front end stays planted. Here on the little loop, I'm going to throw the GoPro on. It's a short loop, but I'm going to throw the GoPro on so you can kind of see and kind of hear everything that's going on. It's working really well. The one thing that I'm noticing is it's got all the power that you want, but all the torque is there, so you're not getting a ton of wheel spin, unless you're in a really soupy area, which we have a couple out on this loop. I've been in map 2 as well as map 3. I like map 2. Map 3 is a little bit too much, except for when you get on the more open stuff. When you're still on the tight stuff, it's a little bit too much. The rear wheel kind of wants to go, the rear end kind of wants to go a little bit. Map 2 is perfect, for some stuff like GNCC, you'd probably want to run map 3. Some of the open style courses, for regular hair scrambles, traditional old school hair scrambles, I'd say run map 2. I don't even want to try map 4. Just because everyone that I've talked to says it's so radical, so I'm not even going to touch that. If I ride this thing on a motocross track, I'll do that. The EX, like I said, this is the original EX. The EXR is coming out here very shortly. They've gotten some weight down on this, even with the original battery. Suspension characteristics between the two, you can get a little bit more out of the MXR and the original MX versions, if you can still grab one of those if you want, compared to the EX as well as the EXR models. You can only, particularly with the rear shock, you can go out, you can variate the spring rate a little bit on the EX models, but not as much as you can with the MXR. But I'm going to take this out and give it a few spins, and I'll come back with another kind of more of a breakdown on the EX model. But so far, first impressions, it's really weird not being able to hear anything, but as far as the MXR goes, it's working really well. I'm getting traction everywhere. The bike is stable. Anywhere I want to turn it, it turns, even on the slick conditions. So it's nice. I really think these things are going to take off, and this is kind of the future when they come out here. So I'm going to throw the GoPro on, do a couple more spins on the MXR as well as the EX models, and I'll throw those up right now, and I'll come back with a better description once I get off both of these bikes a couple more times. All right, guys, did a couple more rides, took the EX and the MXR out. The EX, as you can tell from the video, I took two models out. I took each model out. They're the same bike, but they had different tires on them, so I wanted to get a more all-around feel. Not as much horsepower as with the new R motor, and the suspension's a little bit softer. So as you can tell by me crashing, it definitely made a difference. But so I'm gonna deem that bike more for like the casual riding, national forest type riding area, not so much for racing. As far as the MXR, as you can see from the video, I had it in map 2 once again. I didn't throw it in 3. Just really really responsive, puts about the right amount of power down on some of the uphills. If you're riding these and you can get a little bit more adjustment and doing multiple things at once, like you used to be able to do with a clutch on a combustion bike, if you can reach up and hit 3 on some of the uphills, you can get it figured out where you have consistent power all the way through. But on a course like that, 2's the way to go. At the end, I did some practice starts. Anytime that you saw the front end come up was I was on map 3. So the whole shot device, that's perfect. I'd like to see what it would do with a whole shot device in map 4. I didn't even try 4 because I knew if I was wheeling in 3, 4 might come out from under me. But 2 is a really good one. If you could tell, top speed on these things, once they get going, is really, really high. I think I got up faster, quicker, farther than, sooner than I would on, my standard 252 stroke. So these things get a win in my book. The MXR, if you're gonna ride moto or any kind of fast cross-country Grand Prix style racing through the woods, some wide open stuff, some sprint enduro stuff like we have back in the background here, I'd say the MXR is definitely the way to go. So that's my opinion with all the Alta bikes, with the ones that they had here. Again, they had the MXR as well as the original EX. The EXRs are already shipping. They shipped actually this week. So ready to see more of those out on the track. I think they're definitely the future. So we'll see what happens here in the next year or two. But for all the other questions and all the things you want to know, go to alta.com for just like where I've been going to. So thanks for checking this out, guys, and I'll see you soon.